What is up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Market Marauders, beating the market one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Marauders investment channel, helps you to find the best deals in the market. That's something you're interested in. Make sure you smash that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. All right, so if you haven't listened to the news, you haven't watched YouTube, you haven't watched Today's Show, you haven't watched basically anywhere on the internet today or yesterday, depending on the time of this video, then you have not seen that there has been a vaccine released. So there's a vaccine out. It is by Pfizer and BioNTech. And it is the newest vaccine candidate with a 90% efficacy. So let's jump to some background information on that. So today, on the 9th, the CEO of Pfizer basically held that it is a great day for science and humanity. Pfizer and BioNTech says that their vaccine has a more than 90% efficacy, which is fantastic because they were looking for one that could have been between 60 to 70%, but 90% is just blows it out of the water. So this means that the projection that protection is achieved 28 days after the initial vaccine, which consists of a 2-dose schedule. So very good news as far as that's concerned, and the market definitely reflected the good news. So you may be saying, okay, we got a vaccine, now what? So the next step to the vaccine process is that once the efficacy comes out, or once they determine how effective it is, then it gets submitted for emergency approval from the FDA. So just because the stocks went up today doesn't mean that the vaccine is approved. So the FDA still has to go through and look at the different data that Pfizer and BioNTech has, and then determine if it can be passed as a legitimate vaccine for emergency use. So once that happens, then we will officially in the States have a vaccine that people can use. But then the next hurdle comes, and that is going to be distribution. So distribution of the vaccine, how many vials can we get out there? How can we distribute it? Who is the target audience, or who are the target people that need to get it the most? What countries are going to need it? How many vials we're going to need to distribute to other countries, who takes priority. There are a large laundry list of things that are going to come down the line after this is approved. So at the current moment, it is not approved by the FDA, but a 90% efficacy is a very good start. So there were a lot of high hopes based on that. If you looked at your portfolio today, you will see that you were made quite a bit of money if you had already been invested. Your portfolio is green. Early Christmas for everyone, basically early Thanksgiving. So you may be saying, how do I take advantage of this and how do I invest? So at the current moment, Pfizer and BioNTech, which are represented by ticker sign PFE, and BNTX that are here on the screen, are the two companies that are combined together to basically make the vaccine. So if you're looking for vaccine stocks, these are the two to look at. You still have Moderna, so don't put Moderna at the wayside. Moderna is expected to give their information on the efficacy of their vaccine later on this month. So it may be next week, it may be the end of this week, but sometime soon they expect to give their efficacy numbers. So don't count out Moderna just because Pfizer gave out their information now. So if you're invested in Moderna, don't go sell all your stocks and put them all in Pfizer, and vice versa. Don't sell some of your Pfizer and put it in Moderna. Just stick with where you're at, because both of them I think are going to be on the right track for getting the potential vaccine out there. So you still have companies that are in the vaccine niche. So you have Johnson and Johnson, which ticker sign is J&J. You have Novavax. You have I&O, which definitely sold off today. So they sold off pretty tremendously based on the news from Pfizer. But I think, I would put them in the category as oversold. I think it was, a knee-jerk reaction from a lot of people who are like, oh, well, if Pfizer already has a vaccine, then there's no point in me investing in INO. We got to think a company like INO has $56 million that they had invested by government organizations as well as private organizations. So that money is not going to go to waste. They can still help with distribution of the vaccine, if not developing a vaccine themselves. So I feel like people, today looked at the market and were like, if I don't want to jump into vaccines, where do I jump in as well? I think one place you can jump in that I think, will definitely help your portfolio out will be in airlines. So airlines today jumped tremendously. We see that the airlines jumped up off the levels of the vaccine. So United Airlines added more than 19% to end the day at $41.32. Delta Airlines rose 17% today to end at $36.77. Hawaiian Holdings, which is the parent company of Hawaiian Airlines, soared 50% to end at $20.89. The highest price since June. American Airlines rose 17% to $13.20, which is $13.20, which is their 2-month high. And shares of Boeing rose 13.7% to $179.36, which is $179.36, which is their 3-month closing high. So the market definitely rallied around these metrics. Also, another industry that went up as well, we had the hospitality section. So like Marriott International, Park Hotels, those stocks went up as well. So we have Marriott, which was up 21%. Park Hotels, Park Hotel and Resorts, ticker sign PK, was up 40%. Expedia was up 22%. So those are some pretty good metrics for them, which basically means that people were happy to go to get back to their way of life. So people are like, okay, there's a vaccine or, a strong candidate out there. We're going to be able to get back to our way of life. And I think that's what people are hopeful for in the market. Now, one thing that happened today that I think was very interesting is that the markets were actually down. The volume to me wasn't as high as, I think it could have possibly been. But there were also a lot of brokerages that were down. So, there are a lot of the e-brokerages that were down. Charles Schwab was down. They were having difficulties logging in. Vanguard, TD Ameritrade, and Fidelity. I was expecting to see Robinhood on this list and Webull, but Robinhood, was for the first time actually working on high volume. So that's pretty good for Robinhood. They can kind of stick it to Charles Schwab, Vanguard, TD Ameritrade, and Fidelity, even though all of those companies have fantastic customer service and let their customers know that they were having outages instead of just sending a tweet a week later saying, oh yeah, my bad. No diss to Robinhood. I think it's still a good trading platform, but they need to definitely take some of their money that they have and put it towards their customer service. Customer service is going to be key to growing an account and having people feel secure about having their money invested into an account. It doesn't take much technical expertise to learn how to trade on these different platforms, so there's not really any advantage. The only advantage Robinhood really had was that they had zero commissions, which majority of the platforms now, the different brokerages, are commission free. So there's no real advantage, which means there's no real excuse for Robinhood to not go and up their customer service. But that being said, I still use Robinhood. I still like the platform. I just know the consensus with a lot of people is that they have had a bad track record. But going into the other sectors that I think people should consider, the cannabis sector, I think is going to continue to grow. I think they're kind of been on the back burner at the current moment based on the vaccine news. The vaccine news kind of took over the market. Now people are readjusting their portfolios, trying to see what's going to go on for the time being. But I think, if people look at the market as a whole, as well as the current presidency and what their motives are for steering the economy in another direction, then I think you can grow your portfolio. So I would say a recap of everything on here. We do have a vaccine candidate with a 90% efficacy. That is Pfizer and BioNTech. It is not confirmed yet. Still has to be approved by the FDA, which will hopefully come in the coming days or coming weeks. Do not count out Moderna. Moderna will still be giving their efficacy numbers pretty soon, so look for those. I think potentially before Thanksgiving, Moderna will give an update on theirs. Airline industries, definitely look for those to continue to go up, as well as travel stocks. Expedia, look at companies that are around the travel niche, hotels, casinos. Dave and Buster's was one that was up today. A lot of companies that were hit the hardest, that had to take out loans to go and stay afloat, basically, that were regulated because of the pandemic. I think all those stocks will flourish, and especially look for more volume tomorrow and today as well, because of the down brokerages that were on the 9th. So if you're watching this on the 10th, make sure you check out the volume. Make sure you're able to lock in some of those profits, and make sure you check out those different sectors. Also keep your eyes out on companies like NIO, Tesla, and Workhorse, because the EV space as well I think will be a good long-term play for anybody to add money to their portfolio. Well, good luck to everybody out there trading. I hope everybody's able to lock in some profits. Drop a comment down below telling me what stocks you guys are looking at for this week, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.